ladies and gentlemen, what's up? What's up? This is the Barrelman, and I'm saying, and you know, I just here doing some meditation and so on, reading the scriptures, you know, part of our 21-day Barrel Nation fast. And you know, I was going through something, and you know, something just kind of popped in my spirit that I want to share with you. You know, this is on the matter of homosexual marriages. And I went to Genesis 1 verses 26 and 27. But let me look at 27. He says, so God created human beings in his own image and his own likeness. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. Then God blessed them and said, be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and govern it. Reign over the fish in the sea and the birds in the sky and all the animals that scurry along the ground. Then I went to Matthew 19 when Jesus was talking to some religious leaders on the whole matter of marriage and divorce. And in verse 4, Jesus said, haven't you read the scriptures? They record that from the beginning God made them male and female. And he said, this explains why a man leaves his father and his mother and joined to his wife, and the two are united into one. Since they are no longer two but one, let no one split apart that God has joined together. And of course he went on to talk about divorce and all that jazz. Now, on the matter of homosexual marriages and what the Bible, I am understanding, speaks about, what I know the Bible speaks about is what is God's plan. God's ideal plan was that man and woman, man should leave his mother and father and be with his woman and make her his wife, you know, so they should be man and wife. They should consummate their marriage with sex, and they have their bond where they are now one. And then from that, you know, they have children, and they should train the child in the way that they should go, and train them in the fear and admonition of God, so they know how to respect God, and they continue that cycle of that lifestyle. Now, that is God's ideal. Now, when we look on the whole matter of homosexual marriage, and I will go into other things, is that homosexual marriages is what I would call a human invention. That's not God's intention. That's human invention. You understand? And I know that those in the homosexual group, they want the church to bless their marriage and to bless their lifestyle, but the Church of God cannot do that, because that is against the ideal and the intent that God has. But the church cannot condemn them for taking on that kind of lifestyle, because as I mentioned before, the ideal of God is that we should be married, then have children. But there's another human invention, ladies and gentlemen, that we don't look at, is the whole matter of us having sex outside of marriage. That is also a human invention. That is a human intent. That is a human desire. And we see the negative effects of that kind of situation, where we raise families under those kind of circumstances, and families have single parents and children grow up not having the sort of support system that they should have, and then we see what it does to the society. You understand? So both with homosexual marriage and persons who are in relationships and not married, you know, none of us are in a position to judge anyone on that matter, because that's a matter for God to deal with. That's a matter for God to judge. He is one who has a plan for our lives. God is sovereign. He has a plan for our lives. He is working his plan. Nothing is going to stop his plan, and he's going to punish sin at the end of the day. No, he is the one who determines how someone is punished, what type of punishment and whatever. He is that one. So I am not here condemning homosexual marriage. I'm not encouraging homosexual marriage. I'm not condemning living a life where you are what we call shack up, because I used to live it. You know what I mean? Sleeping with persons who you're not married to, having children with persons who you're not married to. You know what I'm saying? But it's by the grace of God that covers not just persons who are in those situations, but homosexuals too. You know what I mean? The grace of God covers them also. You know, so, you know, that was just something that actually came to me. I don't know what is your view towards it, but it's a matter of, you know, we have to still be careful how we treat people in their situations, because God can change anybody. You know what I mean? God can, by his sovereign power, can change anybody's situation, and the person who you knew is a different person when they are touched by the hand of God and when they are walking in the will of God for their lives. You know, when I look back in my own life, you know, I was living a treacherous life, you know what I mean? I won't even go into it right now. But since I began to decide that I am going to walk in obedience with God and seek after God, you see a different person, and I am seeing different outcomes in my life. That in itself has its challenges, because the flesh wars against the spirit and the spirit against the flesh every day. You know what I mean? So if somebody was condemning me when I was living that life, you know what I mean? You know, what would they say now? You know what I mean? I am not perfect. No one is perfect. The Bible says none of us are perfect. And God knows all of that. But he expects us to walk by faith, accept his grace, and do not take his grace for granted. That we should walk after his word, follow after his righteousness, and he will take care of the rest. So that's my whole view on the whole matter of homosexual marriage. And if you are talking about homosexual marriage, you have to talk about persons who are in relationships and having sex and not married and all that kind of thing. Is the same thing. The Bible says what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. It's not every marriage that God has joined together, because a business marriage, God does not, you can't say God has joined that together. You know what I mean? A marriage where somebody is outright using somebody. You know what I mean? You cannot say God sanctioned that. You know, so it's not all marriages. You know what I'm saying? So if you choose one, you have to choose the other. You know what I mean? You have to be balanced. And God is the judge at the end of the day. All right? So God bless you. I hope that this helped your thought, or it might generate some discussion on the feed. Share and invite, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It's Barrelman TV, and Barrelman is out. God bless you.
Barrelman TV, like, subscribe, share, you know what I mean?